When she saw her brother sat in the chair next to her bed, she smiled. A smile so wide it overflowed from her eyes and ran like tears down her face. "What's happened to you?" she said, in a light, mocking tone. He was wrong-footed. Surely it should be him saying that to her. She was the one in hospital, just out of intensive care. She was the one who mysteriously appeared after 6 days lost at sea. What had happened to her? "Sorry," he said, but not in the way he wanted to. He wanted to say sorry. He wanted to cry, collapse, weep. He could feel himself tremble and shake. He wanted to say sorry. He'd left her out there in the water. He was sorry. "What do you mean?" he said. "You look so young." She laughed and snorted. "Have you been to the clinic? Whatever they've done, it's made you look..." She paused to stare at him, to stare at his face. "You look 20, she said. He was now not only wrong-footed, but he was tripped up and tumbling over and over. He was shaking his head. "I am 20, he said. "Same as you." She stared at his youthful 20-year-old face. Her smile fell as her gaze blanked out. The realizations came rapidly, flooding her memory, accelerating her metabolism. She knew she was 38. She was working on the restoration project. They were building the seawall. Her brother hadn't spoken to her in years, not since their big falling out, not since he'd said she'd changed and he preferred the old Ellie. Her father hadn't helped. He was grieving too. He became a shadow, always hovering in the distance. He became so thin, his skin transparent, so pale. The slightest breeze blew him away. Her brother, her twin, had stormed out, hadn't spoken to her since. And yet, here he was, staring at her with a wide-eyed, fearful expression on his 20-year-old face. This younger brother, this younger, sweeter, kinder brother, the brother she remembered, the brother who looked out for her, looked after her, until he didn't. He picks up a cup. "Have you seen this?" He shows it to his mother. "Remember when we first came to see her? I knocked this cup off the stand and it cracked, split right down this side, a bit chipped off." He rubs his finger along the side of the cup. "But there's no crack now, is there? No chip?" "It's just a cup," his mother says. "Yes, but it was cracked and now it's not." His mother shook her head, trying to shoo him away like an angry bee. "And she's different." "What's this?" he says in his mocking tone. He flicks the card round in his fingers. "Who calls you Miss Carter?" She snatched the card back. Her brother froze. He had the card in his hand one moment, then he didn't. He didn't see her reach up and grab it, but there it was, held between her finger and thumb. He stared at the card over and over. How had she taken it? It was in his hand, and then it wasn't. He's talking to his mother. He's saying, "Something's not right." He's saying it quietly, so she won't hear. They think she's asleep, but she's not. It's like she's a completely different person. "She's had an ordeal," his mother says. "A terrible shock, we all have." "But it's not Ellie," he says in an angry whisper. "I know it's not her." "She just needs to rest," his mother says. "We just need to give her time." Give her time? And how would they do that? When she's falling through time over and over, she's here and there all at the same time. We, the Jaya, took her from her drowning, tampered with her time. Her time seemed over. We set her on a different course, and here she is, in this time and also not. She lay in her hospital bed, but was also looking at them from all sides of the room at the same time, as if she was standing up and walking round them, and they were suspended, frozen in time. "This is most odd," she said out loud. "What's that, love?" her mother said, trying to hear her daughter's faint voice. "What am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to do?" "Do," her mother says. "Just rest, my love. That's all you have to do. Don't worry, we'll still be here." "But you won't," she says. "You won't be here, because you're already dead. How is this possible?" She became agitated. Her mother tried to calm her and thought she might need to call for the nurse. She began to unravel. She looked at her hands. They seemed real. She looked quickly back at her twin. He was still talking to their mother. He was frowning, rolling his eyes. She looked at their mother, still alive. She suddenly thought of all the things she could say, all the things she wished she'd said to her while she was alive. Her mother, astute as ever, caught the look of shock and horror on her daughter's face. Her mother leant over and touched her arm. That felt real. She could feel her mother's cool fingers. "I think that's enough for now," her mother says, and smiles at her, tries to peer into her daughter's eyes, peers down and in and through to see if this is her daughter or something else. Her mother turned her head towards her brother. "We've got to give her time. She's not really come round yet." "We give her time, all the time she needs, and then she'll be done." "You rest, my love. I don't think you're fully with us yet." Her mother carefully tucked in the edges of the blanket on the bed. She grabbed her mother's arm. "Where are the others?" she said, in a desperate and perhaps terrified voice. Her mother frowned and felt alarmed at how tightly her arm was being held. "What others?" her mother said, trying to not sound as alarmed as she was. She loosened her grip on her mother's arm. "The others," she said, in a slowing out breath. The lights dimmed as her mother and brother left, whispering to each other. "I can hear you," she said, softly. "I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you." She woke with a jolt and sat bolt upright. She listened, but only heard the bleeps and soft whirring of systems checking and monitoring. Something wasn't right. She listened again. "We can hear you, Elle. We can hear you. It's time. It's time, Elle." It was not only the Jaya talking to her, it was the earth itself talking to her. She looked around in the semi-darkness, trying to determine where it was coming from. It was her accelerated heart rate that woke her, flung her awake from the deepest of sleeps. It was the earth itself saying, "Ellie, Ellie, run." She threw back the bed sheets and unplugged herself from the monitors. She put her bare feet on the cool floor and walked quickly down the empty sleeping corridor past the nurse's station. She tried the door, it opened, and she slid inside. She opened the console and began typing in codes and commands, then she left as silently as she'd arrived. She was back in bed when the alarm rang, followed by another, then the whole place exploded. She was gathered up and guided to the stairs, along with everyone else from the ward. They made their way down to the emergency bunker, the vaults. The staff were adopting their professional tone of reassurance, whilst all the while scanning to detect any sign of what might actually be happening. Some of them were receiving comms and looking at the floor whilst nodding. From inside the vault they heard and felt the boom. The whole building shook, then another, even louder boom. Closer, right above their heads. Everyone screamed and lay flat on the floor. She kept herself very still and watched and listened. This is it, Elle. This is the time. One of the people receiving comms announced that everything was okay, we just have to sit tight and wait. The staff moved round from person to person, reassuring them and keeping them calm. She was calm, probably the only person in the whole vault who was calm. She waited. Her nervous system was down-regulated. Everyone else was too afraid to say anything or move. Then, after an enormous amount of time in the dim light of the vault, they got the okay to get up, dust themselves off and carefully re-emerge into the devastation above them. The hospital was split open. A huge crack ran from the top to the bottom. Most of one of the sides of the building had fallen away. She looked through the dust and billowing smoke, broken only by the emergency lighting and the cacophony of multiple wailing sirens. She was standing both inside and outside at the same time. The side of the hospital still standing looked like a huge monster had taken a bite out of it and slashed it with its terrible claws. As the dust settled, the rescue services helped everyone emerging from the bunkers. When the medics were distracted, she quietly slipped away and made her way home. Where else would she go? There was no hospital left to stay in. This disaster took over the news instantly, and everyone forgot about the young woman who'd miraculously reappeared, washed up on the shore, alive after 6 days lost at sea. No one believed it was a hostile attack. Structural weaknesses, exacerbated by the recent and ongoing earth tremors. It must have been a large earth tremor that cracked the hospital open like an eggshell, that split the building in two. No evidence of an explosion, although the boom that everyone felt suggested otherwise. No fatalities, only minor injuries. It could, of course, been a lot worse. But for now, relief, and then questions. Hours, weeks, months of debate and inquiry. The internal security cameras had all been destroyed, so the footage couldn't be retrieved that would have shown her leaving her room, breaking into the network, and setting off the codes to activate an emergency evacuation. All of this happened before the strike, or tremor, or explosion, or whatever it was. And without her intervention, they wouldn't have got everyone down to the bunkers in time. It would have been a total disaster, hundreds crushed to death under the rubble. This was only the first of the actions she would take. It was now time for her to remember.